Ayman Essawy. I'm a second-time co-founder. I co-founded the company. It's an endeavor company actually called D-Squares. D-Squares is a B2B loyalty business that have been in operations for the past 10 years. Then I'm currently one of the co-founders and managing director of Lucky Financial. It's a fintech, consumer fintech, focused on lending and savings. My educational background, originally I'm electronics and communication engineer. I've actually worked most of my life on the commercial side rather than the tech side. I've worked for Vodafone in Egypt, worked for a couple of operational and financial jobs in Dubai as well. Currently managing Lucky. Before that, I co-founded D-Squares along with my existing partners in Lucky. So that's our second company. So the inspiration came basically on 3 points. One is the gap that we have figured out in the Egyptian market related to access to data. Second is basically the movement towards financial inclusion from the government and being able to support this movement throughout what we have built in our first business. And third basically is impact on Egyptian consumers. So we're very much focused on providing value to consumers, and this is what we have figured out across the years throughout a lot of B2B programs. Any loyalty program or any incentive-based program, if you're not really giving big value or good value to the consumers, it would be hard to build an adoption or increase basically the engagement with this program. So the idea came out through how to provide more impact on people's lives by giving them savings and discounts throughout their shopping experience. So basically, priorities always change for any entrepreneur, and I think that's key in the success of the way of thinking for any entrepreneur. So flexibility has been always essential in our business. The changes that we are facing, whether from a macro economic status in our region, or even in the regions we're expanding to, or basically even the business status itself, the ups and downs, the normal ups and downs that we've been facing, requires a lot of agility and flexibility from the founders and from the entrepreneurs. And you always look at the teams that can actually cope with this. And that's when we've been asked always, what are you looking after when you're hiring a team in your company or in any startup? I think that's one key factor or one key skill that requires to be in any startup, which is how flexible and agile is the candidate. So the changes we requires to be actually more frequent than other companies. So you look at changing strategies maybe in less than 2 years. You change plans in less than 6 months. You have to be very agile and responsive to all changes coming in the next 1 or 2 months of the business. And how basically to shift from one mode to another, whether it's a growth mode for startups like the previous years, starting 2018 till 2021, or what we have been facing during 2022 and expected to last at least for the next 1 or 2 years, of being more focused on optimizing, on generating revenues and profits and so on. So talking about failures, there has been few actually during our journey. So talking about general failures that actually have been coming in different stages. One is always prioritizing the opportunity versus the product or the plan. So for tech startups in specific, you find that there are a lot of opportunities that come up every quarter or every year during out planning for your business. And if you follow those opportunities blindly, which some of them actually come as opportunities that looks bright and successful, however, it will distract you from your original plans. So I think one of the failures that if you look at what are the major reasons for those failures, you find that opportunities that we have decided to follow, however, they are not aligned with our plans. So that is something a little bit generic for early stage businesses or startups. Second is maybe more on the B2B side, which is depending on some big accounts, on key accounts in the early stage of your life. That happened for us in 2014, just 2 years after our launch. We were very much dependent on some key accounts in our business, in our first business, that we have basically to change strategy and start expanding more faster than before in order to avoid this case. And since we've actually decided to take the other path, you basically find a slowdown a little bit on your revenues and on your growth. Then you start moving ahead after a short period to more sustainable situation of your business. So talking about success, I think one of the very obvious points of success that you will always find on your way is that you start touching the impact on people's life. So basically, in our business, it's very much close to the consumers. In Lucky Financial, we're very much close to the consumers. The impact on what we are offering in the market is very much sensed and actually monitored frequently by the business. So basically giving people the ability to save and provide them with more offerings related, whether in the shape of discounts, cashbacks, or lending, facilitating their financial capabilities is something that we believe has a big impact, especially in such situation or such a status economically in our region and even worldwide, and especially in Egypt. So what we're trying to keep an eye close on is basically making sure that what we are offering is very close to the people and is impacting their lives. So talking about Endeavor. So Endeavor have been a very close partner, as I always like to call it, during the past 5 years of our journey, being Endeavor entrepreneurs and being part of the network since then, have actually impacted the business positively in many situations. So first, it's always about the network. So the network that you're being part of and the support system that this network can give you, whether in terms of the mentors, whether in terms of the team itself, or whether in terms of the access to other markets in case you're expanding your business. So we have been lucky, basically, that we've been touching on all points. So we've been exposed to one of the best networks and best mentors, and luckily in our business since we started, whether locally or internationally, we've been exposed to best mentors in Endeavor's network, and they have been very supportive since day one, whether giving advices strategically or even some operational advices sometimes. The partnerships side that you can leverage if you're very much focused on the network is something beyond expectation. So being part of this network and being able to cooperate and partner with other Endeavor companies or Endeavor entrepreneurs is something unmatched with any other networks. I believe Endeavor Catalyst as well, the VC fund, and the impact of having this fund supporting Endeavor entrepreneurs in their investment rounds is something beyond the expectation. The impact of having this VC fund part of your round and how this reflects actually with other investors that become more interested in your business since you've already passed or you've already reached that bar of having Endeavor Catalyst being part of your investment rounds is something as well that of big impact. So one more important point is about market expansions. So for businesses in the Endeavor network, it's almost crucial for your business in these times and with this financial challenges or economic challenges in our region, it's very important that you look at international expansions. And when we're talking about international expansions, there is nothing that matches Endeavor's access to this network. So the support that actually international offices can give you throughout entering each market, whether starting from your legal structure, ending with business development opportunities that they can open up for you, is something that we have leveraged a lot. In our first business, it was a B2B business, and for B2B businesses, international expansion is crucial to grow your business. And throughout D-Squares, we've been lucky that we always mention that while we're operating currently in 8 markets, at least 4 of them have been supported fully by Endeavor's network and access, whether through accessing these markets and incorporating the companies, or having access to the right people in each country to start developing your business and making the right partnerships while you're kicking off your business in a new market. Okay, so enjoying Endeavor's network is really about the people, and knowing the entrepreneurs and the mentors, advisors, other entrepreneurs as well within the network. So in my case, I've been lucky that I've actually being Endeavorized, as we call it. So being first as an Endeavor entrepreneur for a first company, then a second company as well, being part of the network, then now being part of Endeavor Egypt's board. It's all about the people that you interact with and you get to know. So people that have the same problems, the same pains that you usually face day by day, the same pressure and maybe stress sometimes, that you need people to start relieving this pressure, whether by knowing that everyone actually is facing the same problems and trying to solve for it, or maybe by direct support and advice that comes from those partners or those friends in the Endeavor network. So I would say that's one of the most actually important things that I have enjoyed throughout my journey in Endeavor. So defining success for me, it's 3 things. First is how to build a sustainable business that actually doesn't look at success in a short time rather than a longer time. Mid to long-term successful businesses are the ones that last, especially in this era and this phase of the economic situation across the region and across the world. It's very important to build sustainable businesses. So being able to last for a number of years with a successful business or a growing business is something very important. So that's number 1. Number 2, I would say impact on customers, whether it's a B2B business, so you're talking to customers that you're really providing them with big value, that they can make use of it, or we're talking about consumers and giving impact, as mentioned before, in their daily lives. Finally, businesses is all about growth. So when we're talking about a business that is not growing and not making money, then it's not a successful business. So the financial and commercial matrix is something that is crucial for any business. So I would say those are the 3 points that summarize the definition of a successful business for me. So it's always about the journey. So enjoying the journey and making sure you're getting the best out of it. Enjoying every moment in your business, the success of the business, the failures that you have faced. I don't even regret any movements that have gone wrong for any reason. There is always learning from these events. And this is what makes a business sustainable and successful, as mentioned before. So I don't think there is anything to regret. It's more about maybe one advice related to enjoying the journey, enjoying every moment about this journey. While you're building large corporations, it's always about the pressure, the stress of the numbers and the targets. And those moments that you basically focus on during out the journey, and you see the light at the end of the tunnel, is the ones that are worth actually enjoying. So that just enjoy every moment while you're building your business. So advice, I would point those into 3 points. One is keep doing what you're doing best. Don't get distracted with new opportunities that come in while you're building your business. Opportunities will always come and pop up from nowhere, and some of them are really exciting. So you just need to keep doing what you do the best, and until you see results. So don't get distracted. Second is keep an eye on the macro economic status. You cannot run a business basically in the global macro economic situation without keeping a close eye on what's coming next. So keep an eye on what's coming next, what's happening across the world. Usually our region is a bit delayed in actually getting an impact from different global financial situations. So you need to keep an eye with what's happening globally, and accordingly being able to plan and strategize flexibly in a margin of 3 to 6 months is something that needs to be there in your business. The last point is, as mentioned before, is just enjoy what you are doing. Don't get much pressure than what you can afford. It is sometimes hard in businesses. Other times are really good. So you just need to enjoy the journey and keep going.